Hello and welcome. My name is Gino, one of the co-founders of Jake and Gino. And in this how-to video, I want to be sharing something with you that I wish I had done in my restaurant days. I owned a restaurant for over 20 years and I never sat down and created a vision and goals for my business. I never did that. And in this lesson, I'm going to be sharing with you how to create a vision for the upcoming year in your business. Specifically, if you own a real estate business or you're even starting another business. Now, let me share with you what's been going on with me and why it's so important for me right now. Jake and I are still acquiring assets. Actually, this is recording at the end of the year. We just closed on a 31 unit deal. Going into the new year, we're going to be redeploying more capital into these assets. But what's interesting is that I owned a business, my restaurant business, for over 20 years. And I had one restaurant for 20 years. And I struggled along and it felt like a job. I'd get paid one week. I didn't have a vision. I didn't have goals. I didn't have core values. I didn't have a mission statement. And when I met Jake, that mindset sort of transitioned into buying real estate assets early on. We were pretty successful. After 18 months, we did our first deal. After 2 years, we had over 200 units. But that's where we got stuck. And we figured and we said to ourselves, neither one of us has ever scaled a business. How do you scale a business? We went in, we found Gino Wickman's traction. We found Scaling Up by Vern Harnish. And one thing that really helped us to become clear with the business is we ultimately saw real estate, specifically in our niche, multifamily, as a scalable business. And there's certain things and certain tools and certain systems and processes that you need to be able to create a scalable, a viable, a growing business. And this is one of them. So let's jump into it. What do you need to do to be able to create a vision? I'm going to recommend a book here. We've actually interviewed Cameron Herold. He wrote a book called Vivid Vision. And what I love about Cameron's book, he takes it out into maybe what does your vision look like in the next 3 to 5 years. Let's just keep it simple here. Let's start out for the next 12 months. What do you want your vision to look like? And if you want to extrapolate it out to the next 3 or 5 years, it's important because what I've noticed is that we do not lack the motivation to do something. We lack the clarity. And when we lack the clarity, we don't know what steps to take or we feel stuck. And isn't it ironic that for over 20 years, it's not that I lacked the motivation in my restaurant business. I just lacked the clarity. I had no vision. I had no what is the future look like. If I had had a vivid vision in that business, man, it would have been incredible. I was starting out. I actually ended up writing a cookbook. I started doing cooking videos. We started doing cooking classes. We started, hopefully, at one point, we were looking to do a monthly online subscription, but we didn't have the vision. We didn't plan it out. We were just trying things. That's why this is so important. So let's start out. I'm going to break it down into certain sections that you need to do, and then I'm going to read off to you some of the components that I've created. Now, this is for our new company called Barbaro 360. And I think the mission for our company, simply put, families with financial intelligence can change the world for the better. And that's what Barbaro 360 is all focused on, is having that conversation with families to create financial intelligence within the family unit so they can go out and impact the world by using their financial intelligence. And components of that, there's faith, there's family within that, there's financial discipline. We're going to get to that. But as you're creating your vision, I want you to write down these 7 metrics. The first one is core values. The next one is culture. Then there's content. What content are you going to create? What media are you going to use? Man, I wish I had known this back then when I had the restaurant because I was just trying things. I wasn't thinking about, hey, Gino, you should be on Instagram and you should be on YouTube. I was just going on one platform, then going on another. I had no metrics. I had no KPIs as to how many followers I wanted, how many videos I was going to post. Getting ahead of myself. Media. Then the systems that you're going to implement within the business. Then obviously the metrics, the KPIs, and finally the notes. So let's start out with the core values. I'm going to read our core values. And I'll start off by saying the following is our 2026 vision for Barbaro 360. It will give an idea of the look and feel of the company in 1 year from now on December 31st, 2026. Sharing this document with others will help this vision manifest itself and become a reality. I've noticed that once you put things down and you start sharing things, it's a little scary because you're putting it out into the world. And once other people see this, there's something called radical accountability, excuse me. This may keep you radically accountable. Now, the core values for us and for our Barbara 360 company: God first, family, communication, and stewardship. That all encompasses the God first element. Then there's servant leadership. Then there's growth, and I have curiosity mindset. Now, these are the core values that we're working on. We're having a meeting on Saturday, January 2nd, to go over all these core values with the family. We've written them down. We've thought about them. We've prayed about them. This is not something that you take lightly because these core values are your North Star. Once again, I'm going to reference it back to having one restaurant for over 20 years. I didn't have any core values. I didn't know who to hire based on my core values. I didn't know who to fire. I didn't know what vendors to work with. I wasn't able to share these values with our employees. See, the whole idea of being a leader is being able to create these values and to be able to create this mission. So when you hire people, when you start building your organization, you're starting to create a culture within that organization that can continue to grow and scale and grow that organization. Now, I say we place our community members as our top priority and seek to deliver superior customer service. Business plus finance plus family as one integrated system. Now, that gives our family clarity on what we're trying to accomplish, gives clarity on our core values. If you're not a God-first person, if you don't have servant leadership, you may not be a good fit to work with Barbara 360, and that's okay. But we need to be clear on who we want to work with and who we want to impact in life and who wants to work with us. Really important for you to get crystal clear on this. That's the first thing, talking about core values. Now I'm going to read just a little snippet of our culture. Our culture is a direct result of living our core values, and the community members that we attract all know our core values and are attracted to the company culture. We hire all team members based on culture fits and look to promote members within the organization to higher positions. We promote a family type atmosphere within the organization and continue to stress the importance of communicating within the company. That's the culture that we're trying to develop within our company. What is the culture that you're trying to develop within your real estate business or any business that you have currently? If you don't have culture and you don't have core values, it's really difficult to scale a business. It's really difficult to hire people. It's really difficult to attract the talent, and more importantly, the talent that you want on the team. Now we're going to content. The content. We are producing content daily through our various podcasts and live streams. We are focusing on family life, relationships, working with entrepreneurial families, and teaching people about financing and investing. Don't you see right now, things are starting to come together. We're starting to get clear on what the company should be doing, what the focus is on. The company will be distributing weekly blogs, along with weekly Happy Money podcasts and the bi-weekly Julie and Gino show. Gino will also be recording his weekly how-to podcast, this show right here, focus more on business. There will also be a weekly live stream and monthly masterclass webinars. And content will continue to promote the company as thought leaders in the family and money coaching space. You're seeing why this is so important. We all are having radical accountability. We're putting out there what we need to do, right? If you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not really sure how many shows, it says it right here in the content. Now, this can change. This is a living document. Maybe 6 months from now, I'm saying, hey, Happy Money is going really well. Why don't we spin off and do another show? Great. You have that option. But at least I've got things written down here that I know I need to hold myself and my family and my employees accountable. Now, media. Media is the next one. Barbara 360 will be regarded as thought leaders. We will be on social media as well as traditional media spreading our message. Our chief marketing officer will be planning and coordinating all of our events and planning launches and the marketing campaign. We have a reliable system of lead nurturing, including monthly webinars, Facebook and YouTube advertising, and lead nurturing campaigns. It's important. Once again, I love going back to the restaurant because I saw all of the mistakes that I made. I should have incorporated media into the restaurant a lot sooner and a lot more specific. Restaurants are made for Instagram and for YouTube videos. Can you imagine if I had created that. I had a whole entire cookbook. I could have done recordings on my videos from the cookbook and use them as lead magnets to give to people for free. Let them watch it, give them coupons through the videos to come into the restaurant, sell the books through the videos. I didn't have any of this laid out. That's why it's so important to do. Now, I'm going to take a quick time out to hear from our sponsors, and we are back. Now, I'm looking at systems right now, and systems is cool because systems are really alive within your organization. Systems in an organization that generates $100,000 in a year in revenue are going to be a lot different than a company that generates $1 million a year in revenue, and a lot different than a company that generates $10 million a year in revenue. What you need to do with systems is you need to make them simple, easy to use. And as you scale and as you grow, you're going to be tweaking your systems. They're alive. They're really never done. They're really always, forming and growing. And that was another hole that I had in my business at the restaurant. Simple example of a system. When I think back, we had no one specific way of answering the telephone. Some people would say, hello, Gino's. Some people would say, hello, Gino's Trattoria. Some would say, hello, Gino's Trattoria. How may I help you? There was no one simple, clear, repeatable way to answer the phone. And the same thing when customers came in, when you greet the customers, we had different people saying different things. You needed to be uniform. That's an example of a simple system that could have been implemented right away, but I didn't know, right? When you're a mom and pop shop, you're there all the time, or one of your family members. So you don't think of these things. You want to try to start extracting yourself out of these parts of the business that are not that important, that you can systematize and that you can ultimately hand them off and easily trainable. So our systems, our training platform is reviewed every year, and content is refreshed to stay relevant to what is occurring in the current market cycle. All of our systems are documented and outlined for the entire organization to access. We have systems built out for gifting, affiliate programs, ambassador programs. Now, this systems component here, I need to work on this a lot more for Barbaro 360 because we have plenty of systems. We have systems for uploading content. We've just created a marketing content calendar for the entire year, what's going on every day. There's so many different systems that we need to implement, and that's the one that I'm going to be working on. It's really going to be something that, like I said, ongoing, but become clear in your vision of what your systems is going to look like. Now, metrics. This one's a little scary because this one is where you write down what you want to accomplish as far as metrics for subscribers, social media. For us, we have 51,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. By the end of the year, I'm looking and I'm shooting for 100,000 subscribers. That means I'm going to need 50,000 subscribers in 12 months. What is that? 4,000 subscribers on average per month? It's a little over 100 subscribers a day. We've been averaging around 100 to 150 a day. If I continue along, I should be able to hit this metric. I want to have 10,000 Instagram followers on the Barbaro 360 page. Right now, that's going to need a little bit of help. We only have 500. That's why it's important to write these down, because I can say to myself, if I think 10,000 is important, then we should be allocating some of our budget spend to boost posts, to get more interaction there, to focus on that page. Monetizing on the Barbaro 360 YouTube page. Right now, for us to do that, we need to be able to get more views. So that's something that I want to accomplish by the end of the year, where YouTube actually will give us the permission and we hit all of their guidelines to monetize. That's something that's very important for me. Right now, I'm writing down and I'm saying that I want 200,000 monthly downloads on iTunes. Right now, we have a little over 125,000 downloads for the Jake and Gino show, but this is encompassing all three shows. And right now, that's pretty weak for me because I have around 175,000 downloads for all three shows monthly, between the Happy Money, between the Julie and Gino show, and between the Jake and Gino podcast. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Jake and Gino podcast out, and I'm going to focus right now just on the Julie and Gino and the Happy Money. That's a big stretch because between those two, I have a little bit of over 100,000 on those two. I'm going to need another 100,000 downloads by the end of the year. So that's just giving me clarity once again on where I need to focus my budget spend. And the reason why am I focusing, and why do I want these metrics? Why do I want all these YouTube subscribers? And why do I want all of these downloads on the podcast because they're lead magnets. They are what is going to help me get more people following us, get more people to actually subscribe to our channels, to listen to us, so we can actually send out resources, so we can engage with the community. That's why these are really important in your business. What's important in your business? That's what you need to focus on. If I was doing this in the real estate space, as far as metrics, when we were raising capital, it was important as well. I would probably put an email list here as far as some notes, some of the metrics. You need to grow your investors. What are the metrics? How many investors are you bringing on every month? Metrics. Another metric that would be important is how many outbound calls are you making to brokers? Another metric would be how many deals are you underwriting? Another metric is how many LOIs are you putting in? You see, it's really important. Whatever business you're in, you have to understand what metrics you're trying to figure out that's important for yours. For us, once again, I want to do 2 yearly workshops next year. I've got an entire 12 months to be able to plan 2 workshops, to be able to host the workshops, to be able to sell workshops. The workshops are so important, and I can actually sell these workshops through the podcasts and through the YouTube channel. That's why those metrics are important once again. And this last one, this is a big stretch for us, but $10,000 per month in referral and sponsor fees. That's something that I want to hold my company accountable for. That's why when you see the metrics for YouTube and you see the metrics for the downloads in the podcast, the more downloads, obviously, and the more views you get, the more sponsorship fees. That's why it's so crystal clear that the vision is to grow all of the platforms. And once we start growing the platforms, we'll be able to monetize those platforms. And then ultimately, last thing, I have notes here. The notes is to help our community create long-lasting relationships and impact others' lives. We want to create a community of entrepreneurs. We want to have long-term thinkers. We want to have people leaving legacies for their families. We want people investing with a purpose. We want values-driven, values-based decision-making. We want growth mindset and 5 responsibility junkies. As you can see, these notes, we throw them in and we go over them monthly on our calls, but these notes are helping us reshape and re-guide our vision. It's important that you need to sit down at the beginning of the year with a clear mind. Maybe you go to a coffee shop, maybe you take a day off. I'm going to go to the farm today. I've got my cows and my donkeys. I'm going to sit in my living room, look outside the farm, have all of the distractions off, and I'm going to really refine this vivid vision. But it's important, and I'm going to, once again, just talk about the 7 attributes that you need to be focusing on this. Focus on your core values, focus on your culture, the content, the media, the systems, and the metrics. And finally, this Vivid Vision book from Cameron Harold, once again, will help you look at your vivid vision. He's got some examples in here as well, and he goes through all of these metrics. But I want you to sit down really and think about what you want your business to look like in the next 12 months, and maybe peak and maybe think about what you want your business to look like in the next 3 to 5 years. Because if you know where you're going, if you're on a boat and you're looking for the shore, but there's fog and the shore is right past that fog, but you don't see the shore, you're going to wander and drift aimlessly. But if all of a sudden that fog lifts and you can see the shore, you've got perfect vision towards the shore, you'll be able to get there easily. And that's what a vision will allow you to do with your business. You'll be able to guide it towards the shore. You'll be able to guide and direct your business with purpose and with mission. If you want more information, you want to reach out to me, you want to get a free copy of my Happy Money book, just email me, Gino@jakeandgino.com, and I will send you a free copy. Happy New Year, everyone. I want to thank you for tuning in. My name is Gino, 60, and I will see you on next week's show.